Now we are on with our consolation match here at the IronSquid Group G. We are going to find out who is the last player to reach the round of 16. Starting to the left side of the map is one of the potential players that will reach the next round. It is the Protoss player in blue, starting from mousesports and Poland. Is it mouzMaNa, using the account mouzTosh here. One of the accounts that they use on the NA server where this game was played. To the right side of the map, we have the opponent of Mana. It is the Korean legend. It is LG-IMMVP, one of the most popular players in the entire world, one of the strongest ones as well.
Yeah.
Just the most consistent player ever, I feel. And, well, we're gonna figure out who is going to take this match. And to be honest with you, I have no idea.
I don't know,
Both
man.
of them can take it. Mana has shown great performances against Terran. He practiced in Korea a lot. He was struggling against the timings of Korean Terran players for a long time. Trained a lot with players like Marine King, even with Gumiho and a lot of others. So now he's up against MVP. And on a map that is not really easy for him. You pointed out earlier, Abyssal City is every Protoss player's nightmare.
Yeah, it's so hard to hold that third base. It's reminiscent of dual side even. It's like so far away. You can't get over there with your army when you have to defend both your third and your main. You have to make tough choices like, can I split my army here? What if he sends everything to my main and I don't realize it? What if he sends everything to the third and I have so many units to my main? Does that Terran army on 2 base while you're trying to take a third is almost always going to be stronger than yours.
MVP going for command center first here, not wasting any time with the barracks. Mana is playing it a little bit safer, starting with the gateway.
He's going to go for a Nexus after gate, but he's going to have a slightly safer build, like you said, with his tech. Also, he'll be able to get that out as soon as he has the opportunity.
And you know, one of the things that Mana also will have to deal with later on is, of course, the drop play. Abyssal City is a map where drops are strong. You have several points where you can attack with drops, especially when a Protoss player takes the third. It opens him up so much because of the distance that you pointed out, Wolf. And there's just a lot where you can drop. The main base at the third, you can go for the natural if you want to. And Mana has struggled with drops in the past. There was a time when he was in Korea, what was really popular was this 4 Marauder drop that a lot of Terran players went for. And Marine King said that he even thought this drop was a bit too strong at the time. Nowadays, we have more a focus on builds with one base again. So, for example, Medivac, Hellions, and Marines. Something that we most likely are not going to see in this game, as MVP is going for the strategy. Might be late.
Marine run by though on this map. It looks like with Marine King, or not Marine King. You mentioned him. I get confused. MVP going for the triple barracks. Actually, only 2. I thought he would add a third one, but he may decide to add a third CC. No, third barracks, in fact.
Yeah, third barracks coming up, and Mana is now chrono boosting his economy.
Yeah, he wants to get that up as soon as possible. He will also probably go double gates before Robo, since he's already seen the command center timing of his opponent, so there's not a lot of mystery here. That's what I would do if I were him.
Yeah, you don't need the Robo this fast.
If you go for a Robo this early, it means you're probably going for some sort of mortal bust, or you may be going for some sort of War Prism play and an aggressive attack.
The bunker at the front where MVP will definitely give him some safety. And for now, we have the double gas in the main base. MVP is focusing on those 3 barracks that we talked about. And this is just game 1. So we will potentially see 3 games in the series. And MVP versus Mana. What I expect for Mana, when he was in Korea, he focused a little bit more on builds with robotics, with Colossi. But usually the trademark that he had was his Storms. The Storms were really, really good. He was one of the first players in Europe that were able to deal with Korean Terrans. It was at one of the DreamHacks where he faced Nada and Braddock ages ago. And,
yeah, it was a while ago, but it's impressive nonetheless.
Back then, the game was a bit different, but his Storms were just something that always stood out. And Mana now is going for this third, and he's scouted immediately.
Yeah,
I mean, this timing is like amazing.
He sees it right as it's being made. And now MVP is, of course, going to know he needs to turn on the steam and go for some aggression. He didn't have a fast third CC of his own, so he needs to put pressure on it. He may attack with Stim. He may try to attack before that.
Stim is now being researched, and we have a factory going down now for MVP. One of the things that he, of course, can't do is use drops, because at this point we don't even have a starport for him. So he needs to just get this first. A pylon to the top is already giving Mana a few scouting information about this area. So it's not like MVP can just simply boost in with one of his medivacs. We don't have the Fast and Furious upgrade just yet for those guys. That's gonna come with Heart
Oh
of the
man,
Swarm.
MVP said NP. That's impressive.
Uh, So there are the additional gateways and the
Yeah.
robo for Mana. 4 gateways in
He needs to
total.
go a ton of gateways first to
Yeah.
make sure he can hold ground unit pressure.
Exactly. With the third base especially, you need more gateways. You need something that if your opponent attacks you, if MVP applies pressure, that Mana will have the unit count that he needs
And
to just hold it.
it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point. So Mana knows he's got to start beefing up his army. He's got to utilize that third base. He just transferred his probes over there so he gets the most out of it possible.
What you can see here is that MVP plans on being aggressive. If not, he would have started his third command center when he saw this third base for Mana, but he decides to just stick it out with 2 bases, goes for production and more production,
Yeah.
adds those tech labs and reactors. He will try to end this game on 2 bases and not gonna waste any time going into a third.
You're right. And this is something that we see a lot of the time from MVP. And how this game will probably end, if I could predict things already, is I feel like MVP is going to go for that push where he just keeps attacking, then eventually pulls all of his SCVs and tries to end the game with it, because it's so hard to start dealing with a pro player who gets the upgrades out and all the tech off 3 bases. If your third base is late, if you've done what MVP does here, MVP loves this style.
One of the things that is also really important here is that MVP knows he's not going to face Colossi. With the timing that he uses, with the third base coming up, if he attacks and tries to push the envelope here, then Colossi are not going to be an issue. You can focus on the Medivacs for now. At the same time, we have Mana not starting any upgrades with his double forge just yet, and also with a lot of chrono boosts, 100 energy available that he just uses at his natural. He has a lot of energy in the main base as well and on the third nexus, so he can use that to constantly chrono boost these upgrades, and this might give him an edge over MVP. Supply is still fairly even for the two of them. A lot more harvesters here for Mana, of course, and here comes the double drop.
Yeah.
At the same time, also a small force rallied towards the third base.
He should be able to defend, though, because he seems to know, yeah, he's got units going towards the main, but the third base, that's the problem. You know, we talked about this already. He has to have enough units in the main base to defend a double drop, but also enough to have his third. It looks like the splitting so far is really good for Mana, though. Does he have enough in the main, though?
I don't think so.
He didn't. He was really banking on the fact the stalkers killed the medivac. And the core.
The cybernetic score is exposed. The third base is being attacked with force fields at the third. The immortal with nice targeting, but the main base is the bigger issue.
Yeah, you either have one or the other, it seems like, on this map. And now he's going to lose his core if he targets it. That is one marine targeting it.
MVP is trying to take those units down, and once more moving in with units at the natural this time, but the core is nearly done. And I think he's gonna take it out if he focuses just once. Oh, kills one pylon, kills the second. Oh god, this is awful for Mana. He just lost energy on a lot of those, warp gates, and also the core is now gone. MVP once again in position at the third.
And with all these reinforcements coming in, it's hard for Mana to actually warp stuff in while he's unpowered. Oh, this could actually just be game ending.
And MVP is faced with a very good positioning of Mana at the third base, but the main base is the issue. This drop is still not shut down.
Yeah, and with the drop not shut down, with all the unpowering of the gateways, the reinforcers of MVP are just starting to whittle away at Mana's forces. He lost his immortal.
The cybernetics core is now done again, and he's going into +2/+2, so the upgrades for Mana are ready, but he's falling behind in supply. In the main base, we still have these Marines. They still do damage. There is no mining going on anymore.
Mining. He sends more stalkers up here to clean this up, but this could be the crushing blow.
I don't think that Mana has the force fields this time. The sentries are gone, and I think this is it, Wolf.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be it. He's up 50 supply, and all these probes are now going to die, and there's another medevac rallying in with healing.
He can't save the third base. This is just MVP ending it on 2 bases. The drop in the main base being the big issue. Mana was never able to deal with it. He had units at the third base because MVP relentlessly pushed attacks towards the third. And this is the problem on Abyssal City. You are spread out so thin when you're trying to defend 3 bases.
And here's the attack once more. Zealots at the front.
No Storm, no Colossi.
No storm, nothing.
There's no area
No
of effect
area of
damage.
effect. GG.
Look
Even
at-
upgrades
yeah.
for both players.
The
Just
Marauder count here.